Welcome everybody to another video, and in this video I'm going to be taking you guys on my journey on how I made 5 million Robux in the past year. I'm going to be showing you guys all the different trade highlights and how I got to this point. So let's go ahead and get right into the video. To start things off, I currently have 4.65 million value and just over a million Robux, and just about a year ago I only had 350k value. Over the past year, I've been trading a lot, and I've kind of figured out how to make Robux and trade at a very efficient rate and just be successful in general. So it all starts with this trade right here, but I actually used to trade back in 2017 and 2018, and then I took a big 3-year break and came back in 2021, and right here is the first big trade that I did. Now, since my items had gone up a lot, there was this one item that I wanted to get, and that was Dominus Praefectus, and I saw that I actually had enough for it, so I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and get it, and that is exactly what I did. I believe I overpaid like quite a bit for Dominus Praefectus, like 70k at the time, but it was definitely worth it, and it was an item that I really wanted. When I got Dominus Praefectus, I didn't really have any plans of trading it. It was my dream item and I kind of just wanted to keep it until I got this crazy trade here. Now this is about a 70k lowball at the time, and Yum was really good at the time as well, and I just got a massive win here, which kind of made me trade my Dominus Praefectus, but this did help me kick off my trading career and adventure into other items. After I got Yum, the first thing I wanted to do was find a good trade where I was Dominus Praefectus and ads for Yum, and because I wanted my Dominus Praefectus again, which is exactly what I did. So I traded Yum for Dominus Praefectus and much better ads than what I gave, and overall I just ended up profiting a bunch from this, and I ended up getting my Dominus Praefectus back. Eventually though, I ended up getting another really good trade on the Dominus Praefectus, and I will say Dominus Praefectus has been like a really good and reliable item, especially early on in my trading career. I don't know why, but I kept getting like really good deals on the Dominus Praefectus, and I kept profiting a lot off of it, so I actually kept going back to the Dominus Praefectus, but this is a 90k overpay at the time with 2 Valks, and overall just another really good trade. Here is the first time that I traded for the Ice Valkyrie. This was back in 7.5 of 21. Here's another time that I got Dominus Praefectus again, just giving the 2 Valkyries from the trade before but without the ads. And then I actually ended up getting Yum again with Dominus Praefectus and some ads for Yum, so this is the second time owning Yum in my trading career. Throughout all these highlights, I was also just doing a bunch of other trades, and overall just profiting in general, which is why you'll kind of see bigger items as we go. Also, one thing to add, I was also going for waffle hats during this time, which I'll get into later how this plays a big role and how I profited a ton. Now we are getting into the times of deflation, which was definitely the worst part of my trading career, and during this time I lost about 200k value, and it kind of started with this trade right here. This was like my first, I guess, bad trade. So I ended up trading for the Pastel Rainbow Shaggy and some ads for my Dominus Praefectus, and this was actually I think like a little bit of a win at the time, but I ended up getting really stuck on the Pastel Rainbow Shaggy and ended up doing awful during deflation. I think I lost like 80k from this hair. And mainly during this time I was just panic trading a bunch. Here's another panic trade. I traded off a bunch of bad items for another bad item, and overall it just was not good because it was my first deflation and I wasn't really sure what to do. I ended up finally trading the Pastel Rainbow Shaggy, but mainly during this time it was very unmotivating, and I think I kind of lost some interest in trading during this time, but after deflation was the golden age of my trading career. The first thing I did after deflation was get a bunch of playful vampires, so I got one here, got one here, got one here, got 2 here, but I started a big playful vampire horde, and I believe I got about 10 of these, and I just had this big horde of playful vampires and I held them for a while, and this was back when playful vampire was still rat based, and I ended up profiting like 200k from this, which was a very good choice. During this golden age of my trading career, I ended up making 1.1 million Robux in 1 month. It was like the most crazy experience ever. My Playful Vampire Horde was making me a lot, and I ended up just getting like a lot of good trades during this time and profiting a ton. After trading for a while and profiting a ton, I could finally afford my big dream item, and my big dream item was Dominus Auris, but all I had to do was upgrade, and this is the first big trade that helped me get there, so I ended up upgrading 8 items into 1 during a mass, and I think I actually got a little bit of a win on this as well, which was a huge win for me. and this is the first big item that I needed to get Dominus Auris. And here's the second big trade to help me get to Dominus Auris. Now, I ended up upgrading into the Dark Horns Appanage. Not only was this a good upgrade though, but I also got like a 70k win on this, which was just a huge benefit for me. Now, because the Dark Horns weren't the best item at the time, they were just kind of mediocre, I was able to upgrade into another one of these for equal, which was just a nice easy upgrade and it helped me get closer to Dominus Auris. And after upgrading into a Yum, I ended up having the 4 items I needed to get Dominus Auris. Now all it came down to is how much could the Dominus Auris owner add to their side, and I found a guy to add 55k to his side, which was perfect, and I ended up overpaying like 130k for Dominus Auris, which was completely fine because that's about what it gets at the time, and also it was my dream item, so I didn't really care, and I ended up getting Dominus Auris. I think I owned Auris for about a month and then ended up trading it off, but here's the big trade here. This was about a 130k overpay at the time with Dominus Rex, 2 Ice Falcons, and Super Happy Face. I went through a little bit of a downgrading spree during this time, and this is when I downgraded Dominus Rex shortly after. I got Sparkle Time Fedora, Clockwork Headphones, Super Happy Face, and Mermaid, and I want to say this was like an 100 something k overpay. And then I downgraded Clockwork Headphones for probably like a 50k overpay at the time. That's what I'm gonna guess what it was. And here's when I downgraded the Sparkle Time Fedora, probably like an 80k overpay with 3 Valks. Here's the first time I traded for the Frozen Horns. I ended up getting the Valkyrie Helm and some ads, but just getting this item for the first time was really cool because it's still one of my favorite items. And here was my first time trading for the Blue Steel Domino Crown, which is also a pretty cool item. Now this trade here is the best trade I have ever gotten in my trading career, and I was so lucky because I saw a trade ad and I just kind of sent this as a joke, and it was like a 230k lowball and they actually accepted. I am not sure why, but I knew that in the trade ad they had the Valkyrie Helm, the Ice Falcon, the Classic Fedora, and then in their wish list they also had the Blue Steel Domino Crown, so I sent them all those items that they seemed to want, and I guess they ended up accepting. And here's the first time that I traded for the Fiery Horns, and the Fiery Horns are still one of my favorite items, and this was actually a really good win at the time, and has become even a bigger win now. Not only have I gotten Dominus Auris once, but I've gotten it twice, and here's the trade where I got it the second time, and I believe this was like a 70k overpay at the time, and I ended up getting Dominus Auris, which this ended up being one of the best trades I've ever done in my trading career. After trading for Dominus Auris, I put it on sale for 3.2 million, maybe just to get lucky and have someone buy it, and sure enough, someone did ended up buying it, which is crazy luck, and ended up getting 2.3 million Robux from this, which opened up so many opportunities and so many ways to profit. So here's where the waffles come into play. So over time I had been collecting waffles just for fun, and I figured that there was something else I could do to profit with these waffles, and because I had so many Robux, what I ended up doing is projecting the waffle ad horde, and I bought a waffle for 1.58 million Robux, which projected the waffle ad to 160k. Here's the spike when I projected the waffle ads, so I went from 2.5 mil all the way up to 7.2 mil, and then slowly over time I've kind of gone down because of that projected value, but overall I've profited over 600k from this, and eventually I'll have a video out on all the flips that I've done with the waffle hats. The last highlight I want to share is when I got the Orange Sparkle Time Fedora, so I ended up giving Clockwork Headphones, Front Stand, Outright King of the Night, and Peanut Butter Hair for the Orange Sparkle Time Fedora, which was only like a 40k overpay at the time, which was a really good trade. And then on top of that, I ended up getting a really good trade on the Orange Sparkle Time Fedora, so I gave Orange Sparkle Time Fedora and Super Happy Face for the regular Sparkle Time Fedora and the Clockwork Headphones, but this was like an 150k overpay at the time, which was a really good trade. So that is basically the highlights of my journey on how I was able to make 5 million Robux in a year, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I think it was pretty cool seeing how I took 350k value all the way up to well over 5 million, and it just kind of shows that anyone can do it and anyone can profit and get big over time. But anyway, that is going to be it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.